Welcome to Investing Confidential. I'm going to talk a little bit about this whole FTX issue. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not an expert, but I think I can give you some interesting insights here, because at the end of the day, this has happened before. Shouldn't be a surprise to anybody, okay? This has happened before. It happened in the, let's say, early 2013, 14 with a company called Mt. Gox out of Japan, okay? Mt. Gox at the time was the largest Bitcoin exchange. There wasn't much crypto. There was a lot of Bitcoin out there. It actually had 70% of all Bitcoin trading was on Mt. Gox at some point. I'm not going to go into the history of it because there's a long history. It was basically started as a exchange for gaming cards, okay, gaming playing cards, and eventually was purchased by a Frenchman who was living in Japan, and he took the Mt. Gox name, took its blockchain infrastructure, and basically started an exchange for Bitcoin. Right off the bat, within 6 months, the guy was hacked, theoretically or supposedly hacked, lost tons of Bitcoin, but for some reason Bitcoin was on a crazy trend. People kept depositing Bitcoin, buying Bitcoin. Again, they at one time had a 70% market share of Bitcoin trading. I mean, that's incredible. That's Coinbase on steroids, okay? But it all blew up. Okay, it all blew up, folks. Whether it was hacked, whether it was stolen. Bottom line is, customers, including other Bitcoin exchanges, had a lot of problems. Not going in, but coming out. Okay, some Bitcoin exchanges were trading with Mt. Gox. They were trying to get their money out or their deposits, whatever. They couldn't get their coins. People who had bought Bitcoin tried to sell. Whatever the case may be, there was a liquidity crisis. Okay, for whatever reason, it bubbled over. And just like FTX, this thing all of a sudden one day just went dark. And literally overnight, in the middle of February 2014, the Mt. Gox website went dark. Bitcoin on that day was down 36%. Think about it, 36%. Think about today's move in Bitcoin versus a 36% move in one day. Bitcoin was destroyed. Okay? Bitcoin at that time was in the 50s, so got destroyed. Maybe the greatest buying opportunity in my lifetime. Be honest with you, in my lifetime. I was living it. I was a fund manager, reading about all this. I knew about Bitcoin for years, didn't touch it. Okay, at that time, if I had invested in it, I'd be a multi-billionaire right now. But Bitcoin was destroyed. Mt. Gox closed for good. Lawsuits, the Homeland Security got involved. I mean, it was a nightmare, an absolute nightmare. But the interesting part, like again, what's going on FTX is very similar. Okay, the dude came in, didn't know what he was doing, bought this Mt. Gox, built it up, and then overnight it was gone. Okay, I think 750,000 Bitcoins were lost. Okay, do that in multiplication in today's dollars. 750,000 Bitcoins vanished, hacked, whatever the case may be, they were gone. And guess what happened to the dude? Well, the guy who was operating Mt. Gox? Nothing. Walked away with a fine, suspension, walked away. Okay, and all those people and all those exchanges who lost all that money, guess what now? This year, still, the Japanese custodian who's responsible for investing in this has recovered about 150,000 of the 750,000 Bitcoins. Essentially, these people are going to get, pennies in the dollar if they ever see the money at all. So how does this, all jump to FTX? Okay, how does it all make sense? Bottom line is, I think there's a lot of value in Bitcoin, but I think cryptos are gone. The cryptos never made sense, folks. Think about it. Why? I mean, I think one of the problems is that most of you crypto traders out there, or most of the crypto traders out there, don't even know what really Bitcoin was founded on. Never read the Bitcoin white paper. Okay, send me a message if you actually read the Bitcoin white paper. I doubt you did. I doubt most people did. I have. Okay, read it years ago. And what Bitcoin was founded on was as an alternative currency, right? It was based on this fact that these legacy currencies out there, like the US dollar, like the euro, they call them fiat currencies, were going to blow up because the governments just kept printing money. And they still do today. Look, the US government just printed $6 trillion over the last 2 years. No one seems to care. But it's a disaster. And this is why this inflation we have isn't going away anytime soon. But let's not get into that rant. So the whole idea of Bitcoin was to have a digital currency that didn't have any central bank that could just keep printing money. Well, guess what happened? Guess what happened? We got 2,000 plus cryptos. That to me is printing money. Okay? That's all it is. They took the essence of Bitcoin and bastardized it by just producing all these other coins. And 99% of them are worthless. There's nothing to it. There's something to Bitcoin, but there's nothing to the other ones. They're fictitious. And as I said in previous videos, until these coins go to zero, and this may be the catalyst for that. When all these coins go to zero, no matter what the price is of Bitcoin, load up on Bitcoin. That's the time to buy it. But FTX, it's zero. Okay, it's gone. And the kid will probably go to jail for a little bit or maybe just get a slap on the wrist. But nothing's going to happen, just like in the Mt. Gox situation. But Mt. Gox was the bottom for Bitcoin, the bottom. Now, it took a while, took a long time before Bitcoin ran up again, and it's probably going to be even longer for this current price to move out of this current range because it's in a trading range right now. But like everything else, no one pays attention to history. No one saw the problems when you get into this situation where the exchanges and you got this, kid who's mid-20s worth $25 billion and he's got this and that and naming rights and celebrities. I mean, this was all a joke, and it was bound to blow up. But nobody understands, or like I said in an article I just wrote, most of these Bitcoin experts were probably in diapers during the Mt. Gox era. That's a joke, by the way. Anyway, long story short, FTX is gone, just like Mt. Gox. The kid who founded FTX, he's going to get a slap on the wrist. He may go to jail for 30 days, but most likely nothing's going to happen to him. Bitcoin is going to be in the dump, but the cryptos may all go to zero. And if that happens, that's a good thing. And then Bitcoin can once again become what it once was by the founder. The only thing I can tell you to do after watching this video is find the white paper of Bitcoin and educate yourself. Do some research. This is what I'm talking about, folks. A lot of people don't read. They listen to the CPI. They don't read what's in the CPI. They look at the housing numbers. They don't know what's in the housing numbers. It's very easy. Type into Google, your favorite search engine, Bitcoin white paper, written by the founder. Take a look at it. Read it. It may take you an hour or two, but read it and digest it and understand what Bitcoin is. And if you do, you'll understand why all these other cryptocurrencies are worthless. Okay? They're not going to be worth anything. They may be around for a long time. I don't know. But Bitcoin has value because of how it was structured. These other things, I don't think they have any value. But FTX, zero. Mt. Gox, zero. Are people going to recover their money? Yeah, but pennies in the dollar, and it's going to be 10, maybe 20 years by the time the custodians figure everything out. So I say this, okay, this is an old saying, caveat emptor, let the buyer beware. And if you're an investor, be careful out there.